host, Ghoulash. So, as you know, it's August. Did you know that August is the most popular month for birthdays? I mean, I don't really give a shit, but I guess it's true. So, I guess it's only fitting that our story this month is about a birthday party gone horribly wrong. Or horribly right if you're anything like me. The story's called Bobby's Deathday Bash.
I don't know, Steve. I just don't think it's a good idea. He's been acting really weird lately, said Barbara. I know he's weird, but he's my brother. He's always been a little, how do I put this, kooky, said Steve. Let's just let him make all the arrangements and run the show. That's what he wants, right? It's less work for us. Lord knows we could use a break from throwing parties, continued Steve as he perused through the sports section of the newspaper. Yeah, that's true. I just want the best for our Bobby. It's his 13th birthday, and I want him to have a good time. It might even be the last birthday he wants to spend with us before he becomes too cool to be with his parents, said Barbara, scrolling through the news on her phone. Well, that's impossible. We're the coolest parents of them all. Steve lowered the newspaper and gave Barbara a big smooch on the lips. Just leave it to Tom and we'll finally get to relax during a party for once, said Steve. Well, all right, we can let him do it. Hopefully Bobby will be okay with it. He'll be fine, replied Steve. I just get a weird feeling around Tom sometimes. I know he's your brother, but I get weird vibes from him. I think he's still into me, honestly, said Barbara. Well, we've been married now for 14 years? I'd hope by now he'd be over you and have moved on, replied Steve. Yeah, I hope you're right. Barbara's phone began to ring. It's Tom. What are the chances? Should I pick it up? What should I say? Yes, just pick it up and say that we'll let him throw the birthday party. It's fine, replied Steve. Hello?
Hello, Barbara. How are you today, my lovely?
Oh, hi, Tom. I'm well. And you?
Doing splendid. Splendid. So, have you given any thought as to what we discussed? About the party?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I just talked it over with Steve, and we're totally fine with you throwing the party.
Great, great, Barbara. You won't regret it. I promise. It'll be something you'll never forget.
I'm sure I won't, Tom. Okay, I have to go. It was really nice talking to you, Tom. Let me know if you need any help or anything.
The pleasure was all mine, my dear. All mine.
Okay, bye now. Barbara hung up the phone as quickly as she could. She looked at Steve with a regretful look on her face. What? Said Steve. Your brother's so weird. I hope this wasn't a mistake. It'll be fine. Just relax. It'll all be okay. A week later, it was the day of Bobby's birthday party. Barbara and Bobby went a little early to the park to meet Tom, while Steve was out running some last-minute party errands for Tom. There were tons of birthday balloons and decorations set up in a picnic spot Tom chose beneath a weeping willow tree. It actually looked pretty good. Wow, Tom, this looks really great. I'm impressed, said Barbara. Well, I'd do anything for you, my Barbara, said Tom as he took Barbara's hand and kissed it gently on top. Barbara pulled her hand back as quickly as she could without seeming too rude. And of course, for you too, Bobby. You don't look a day over 13, said Tom. Bobby faked a smile and walked towards the snack table. Well, isn't he a talkative one? Do you know when Steve will be here? It's almost 1. I haven't heard from him, and the party's going to start soon. Oh, he should be here soon. I just sent him on a few errands. It shouldn't be long, Tom said, brushing his bushy mustache with his fingers. In fact, I get the feeling he's nearby right this moment. Well, I better make sure everything's good to go. Bye, Barbara. Tom gave a crooked smile as he walked away. Barbara hesitantly lifted her hand to signal a half wave at Tom. I hope Steve gets here soon. I can't take Tom right now. He's so strange, Barbara said to herself. The clock struck 1 as most of the guests arrived and the festivities began. It was actually turning into a successful party. People seemed to be having a good time. But Barbara was becoming increasingly worried. There was still no sign of Steve. It was not like Steve to be late for things, especially for something like his son's birthday party. Barbara texted and called Steve, but received no response. Finally, Steve responded to her via text. Sorry, running late. I'm nearby, I'll be there soon. This made Barbara feel a little more at ease, although she still couldn't wait for Steve to show up to tell him how weird his brother's been acting. Sick of standing around, Barbara walked over to the snack table and sampled some of the punch. Tom, this punch is amazing. What brand is it? Asked Barbara. Oh, I just can't reveal those kinds of secrets to you, Barbs. But just between you and me, there's a little something special in it. Tom gave a big grin as he walked away. Barbara immediately spit the punch back into her plastic red cup. She was getting a bad feeling about this. Who's ready for cake? Screamed Tom suddenly, holding a giant butcher knife. The children and adults replied with enthusiasm. Everyone except for Barbara. Tom began slicing the cake and handing out slices. What kind of cake is that, Tom? It's very red, asked Barbara. It's straw cherry, Barbs. You gotta try it. Tom shoved a spoonful in Barbara's mouth before she could react. It did taste good, but there was something different in it. A different flavor that she couldn't quite pin down. Did you make this cake, Tom? Sure did. I've gone back to my roots, Barb. I've been cooking again lately, just like I used to. I'm a brand new man. Barbara gave a half smile. Suddenly, Tom shifted his expression and seemed a little nervous. Now, I hope this doesn't sound too forward, but how would you like to have lunch sometime? Just you and me. Just like old times. What do you say? Oh, I don't know, Tom. I've been busy lately, with Bobby getting ready to graduate middle school, and with Steve. We've been more intimate lately. Barbara blushed a little. She didn't mean to divulge such personal information. Come on, just a lunch. Is that so bad? Just to have lunch together? I'm sorry, Tom. I just can't. I'm sorry. Barbara walked away. Tom's grip on the handle of the butcher knife tightened. Throughout their whole conversation, there was a girl right in front of Tom waiting for her slice of cake. Hello, can I have my slice of cake now, mister? Tom haphazardly dumped a poorly cut slice of cake onto the girl's plate and walked away to his car. Barbara tried calling Steve on her phone, but still no luck. Suddenly, Tom's voice rang out. Who's ready for the piñata? Again, the partygoers cheered. Tom set up the piñata on the tree branch and stood holding the rope and bat. Bobby, why don't you go first, birthday boy? Said Tom. Bobby grabbed the bat and smacked the piñata. A leg from the donkey piñata flew off, and as it did, red liquid began to trickle from the leg. What is that? Asked Bobby. Is that all you've got, Bobby? Is that all your dad, Stevie boy, could teach you? Come on, swing like a man. Bobby took an angry swing at the piñata and connected squarely with the body of the donkey, bursting the contents free. All of the kids that were eager to grab the candy from the piñata instead were sprayed with a red liquid and red chunks of a mysterious-looking meat. Barbara's jaw dropped. The parents ran up to their kids who were completely covered in red as the kids began to cry. Well, I hope you all enjoyed little Bobby's birthday. Let's see, I hope you enjoyed the Steve Punch, the Steve Cake, and lastly, the Steve Pinata. I guess Steve could make it after all. Barbara, Bobby, and the rest of the partygoers screamed and ran away from the bloody scene. It was a complete disaster. Stricken with panic, Barbara called Steve again on her phone. This time, someone picked up.
Hi, Barbara. This is Tom. Steve can't come to the phone right now. In fact, he's not looking so good. He's a bit of a mess.
Barbara burst into hysterics. It did not take long for the police to arrive. They found Tom on his hands and knees, collecting pieces of Steve that flew out from the piñata. Usually you're the one, Steve, putting me back together. But this time, I'm the one who's trying to keep you together. You're such a mess, Steve.
I don't know about you, but Tom seems like a pretty cool guy. We seem to have a lot in common. I too like to throw parties. I too have a brother whom I will not get into right now. And I also love to cook humans. Now, I don't know if Tom's tried it yet, but barbecuing human is so delicious. And the smell. I'm sorry. Got a little carried away there. Really though, is there a better smell than barbecue? It's definitely in my top 5 favorite smells, along with patchouli and lavender. What, did you think I was going to say a gross smell? Fuck you, you don't know me. Anywho, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next month. I think I'm gonna go get some barbecue now.